Welcome to the Operate podcast, where we explore alternative weed control solutions identified by 8 operational groups from 7 different countries across Europe. These groups include farmers, applied researchers, and academic institutions from the Mediterranean, Atlantic, and Nordic regions, ensuring a broad and balanced view of agricultural systems. Our goal: to share practical, innovative weed management solutions with stakeholders throughout the European Union. Today, I'm delighted to bring you the greetings of the Italian Operate team and to host a special conversation with Lorenzo Gagliardi, a researcher from the University of Pisa and part of our Operate network. Lorenzo is an expert in mechanical under-row weed control in vineyards, a topic that was also central to his PhD thesis. So Lorenzo, let's dive in. How has mechanical under-row weed control been involved in Operate? And could you give us an introduction to the method?
As you know from the Operate participatory activities carried out in the vineyard sector, mechanical under-row weed control has emerged among the most relevant alternatives to herbicide use. Mechanical methods include those that involve soil tillage and those based on mowing or shredding. In both cases, it's a complex operation due to the difficulty of reaching the area under the vine rows with the tools and the risk of damaging the crop. Usually, tools equipped with a mechanism to avoid vines are used. Thanks to the presence of hydraulic filler, the tools that can work between the plants and retract toward the inter-row whenever the sensor perceives pressure exerted by an obstacle. Alternatively, the tool can come into contact with the obstacle, move toward the inter-row to avoid it, and then return under the row thanks to a spring mechanism.
Interesting. Could you share some examples of tillage-based tools, along with their pros and cons?
There are various tools available that cause different levels of soil disturbance and efficiency, allowing the grower to carry out more or less timely interventions. Among the available equipment are rotary hoes, rotary arrows, plowshare, and discs. These ensure effective under-row weed control even with well-developed weeds. However, they have relatively low working speeds, up to a maximum of 3 km per hour, and can cause significant soil disturbance, damaging the structure, causing organic matter loss and promoting erosion. Among the alternatives, for example, is the blade weeder, a tool frequently used by vine growers. It consists of a horizontal blade designed to slightly penetrate the soil surface and cut off the above-ground portion of weeds from the roots. The tool, equipped with a hydraulic sensor, generally allows greater operating capacity compared to the previously mentioned machines, working at speeds between 3 and 7 km per hour. Row lake, on the other hand, consists of a vertical disc, usually 2 to 4 discs, shaped like stars, arranged in parallel, rotating by contact with the soil as the tractor advances. This tool, not equipped with a vine avoidance mechanism, works alongside the row, thus breaking the soil near the vines and simultaneously depositing a layer of soil under the vines, suffocating the weeds present there. The row lake has a higher working capacity than most other tools used for this purpose, with working speeds between 6 and 8 km per hour. In combination with row lake, the finger weeder can be used, a tiltable horizontal disc equipped with flexible rubber fingers that rotate freely upon contact with soil, capable of effectively controlling weeds around the trunks, as observed in the field tests conducted by the University of Pisa.
Great overview! And what about the methods based on cutting or mowing?
Cutting operations of spontaneous weeds can be performed, for example, using tools such as under-row movers or mulchers with wires. Movers consists of a horizontal disc of variable diameter, usually equipped with a vine avoidance mechanism. They allow cutting the weed biomass at a certain height, leaving the underlying portion intact, which then protects the soil from erosion. However, control around the trunks can be limited since the disc diameter prevents the blades from coming into contact with the trunks. These machines can be used at speeds ranging from 2 to 5 km per hour. Mulchers, on the other hand, consist of a horizontal rotor equipped with synthetic wires. Nowadays, many vine growers use these mulchers. These tools effectively cut the above-ground portion of weeds even around vines. There are various types of wires that can be used, differing in diameter ranging from 2 to 8 mm. Material: fully nylon, polyurethane, or polyurethane with a nylon core. And length: for example, relatively short filaments of about 15 cm or longer ones up to 90 cm. Characteristics that influence the way the wire acts on weeds and vine trunks, determining the more or less aggressive action and its durability, with obvious effects on operational performance as it involves replacement times. In some circumstances, vine damage may occur. Mulching with wires can cause wounds to the trunks, predisposing them to disease. For this reason, it's essential to consider the type of wire used, its material diameter, and the mode of action, whether it strikes the vine trunks with bulge or tip. Additionally, some recent models allow adjustment of the protective guard of the tool head, setting it to a more protective configuration. Mowing or shredding has positive environmental aspects because they cause limited soil disturbance, contributing to the preservation and improvements of soil structure and overall health. A fundamental aspect to consider is especially in Mediterranean vineyard areas where soils are often degraded. However, it's important to note that this strategy may have a less durable effect compared to tillage, making a multiple intervention necessary throughout the year. You know that considering only the treatment's effectiveness immediately after the intervention is not enough for a complete evaluation. This can be explained by the fact that tillage, unlike mowing or shredding, causes greater disturbance to vegetation, making weed regrowth more difficult.
So, a lot of options out there.
Yes, the mechanical management solutions are several. It's important to emphasize that choosing the right technique should consider not only its effectiveness, precision, and efficiency, but also vineyard morphology, the soil characteristics, and thus its environmental impact.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. In the next one, we'll take a trip to another part of Europe to hear more about alternative weed control practice from a different context.